I think we're a normal American family. We're juggling parenting with our jobs and trying to find time for all of those things with a young child who needs a little bit extra attention. Jax was born on December 6, 2004.
Nothing was really that unusual until it was ultimately time when Jax was born, and then they hand me surgical scissors to cut the umbilical cord, and next thing, without knowing it, I hear Heather say there's something wrong with my baby.
With that fated cut, our lives changed forever. Jax wasn't breathing.
And then next thing we knew, the room was filled with doctors, and we had a son who was turning blue quickly. And before we knew it, they whisked him out, and we were just sitting there dumbfounded what happened.
I was left in a room with my mother and a machine that was flatlining, a beeping sound, bah. The first 48 hours of his life were extremely touch and go. We didn't think he'd survive, quite frankly. But ultimately, he's a soldier and he's a fighter, and he kept fighting, and he did survive. And he got stronger and stronger, and by Christmas of 2004, we thought we'd be taking our baby home finally.
And there was a team of doctors who we had never seen before standing over the bassinet.
We found it was the liver team.
They announced at that point that our son had a terrible liver disease and was going to need a liver transplant.
To then be told probably your kid's going to need a liver transplant was a blow that I'll never forget. Jax ultimately was put on the liver transplant list at 3 months old. Jax had a rare disease called biliary atresia. For those of you who don't know anything about biliary atresia, there's a finite system of bile ducts that come off of your liver into your gallbladder and large intestine, and it drains the bile from your liver. Your liver processes everything you put in your mouth, and it puts all the good back in the body, and it throws all the bad away, and that goes through the biliary tree. There's a preventative surgery they call the Kasai procedure, named after Dr. Kasai, and what that procedure does is he first kind of scraped away that broken biliary tree, if you will, and connects the large intestine directly to the liver. After Jax had his Kasai procedure, they said, waiting to find out if this procedure will take or not so that it could maybe give a baby a chance to grow stronger, get a little older before the transplant, which is imminent even with a Kasai that works.
So there was the hope that for the short term that would help to get the bio moving, and unfortunately, it didn't.
At every milestone, at every issue, at every crossroad, we had our doctors to lean on. Whether it was a doctor to tell me to, lighten up, it was just a liver transplant, or it came to Dr. Emery, who poignantly came into our lives and said, everything's going to be okay. So Jax's Kasai ultimately didn't work, and Jax was rapidly getting sicker and sicker. And Dr. Emery was growing concerned and talked to John and I about living donation. Although I was a match, I had to have a liver biopsy and make sure that I could match and be a good match for Jax, and I was, but during the CAT scan procedure, my genetic makeup, my liver was just too big for Jax. When you're waiting for transplant, you have to get your blood drawn for various reasons. One of them is to make sure that your child is healthy. If you're sick, you can't get a transplant.
Jax was sick with a cold, a normal cold, but he was coughing and he had runny nose and all of that. And at that point, we were taken off of the list to get organs.
And Dr. Emery, going into a holiday weekend, knowing the facts are what the facts are during holiday weekend, said, let's get through the weekend and, before we start the process of a living donor with Jonathan. We said, well, Jax has been sick. He's not even on the transplant list. And he said, how's he doing now? And my husband, Jonathan, said, he's doing great, and we're going to take him to infectious disease, and we're going to see if we can get him cleared. Infectious disease needs to clear you if you have been taken off the list because you're sick. And luckily enough, we were cleared prior to the weekend that Jax actually received his donor organ. If we had waited and decided, let's not get Jax cleared on Friday, let's get him cleared on Monday, it'll give him the weekend to feel better, I don't know that we'd be sitting here telling you the same story. I don't know that Jax would have made it. I mean, he was really sick. And his cadaver liver came through very late on Saturday night, and the phone rang, and I answered the phone, and they said, "Hi, it's April from Mount Sinai Hospital. How is Jax?" I knew exactly why she was calling me. She said, I said, "He's really, really good." I said, "He had such a great day today." And she said, "That's good, because we have a liver for him." They're the true heroes, because without organ donors, our doctors, our nurses, everybody who comes together, the team of people who come together to help save a life through organ transplant, can't do it without the donors. It was 11 o'clock at night when we got the call. At 6 o'clock in the morning, Dr. Yummie cleared the organ, and Jax hadn't eaten for hours, and he was quiet and easy and silent, like he knew. And we laid him down, and he looked at us and gave us like this A-OK sign. It was like unbelievable, never cried, almost smiled at us as if to say, "You guys, this is where I'm supposed to be, and here we go. It's gonna be fine." I can't say enough about Dr. Yummie. After the successful transplant, he said to us, "This has been a success, but there will be bumps in the road. We have a long road to go, but we're gonna make it through, and it's gonna be fine." I don't know if he still holds the record, but Jax was home 8 days after transplant. And the milestones quickly came upon us, sitting up, you know, eating, touching, grabbing, using his own utensils. I mean, things happened very quickly with him, and it was like, wow, it's a new lease on life. We're with a healthy baby, and we're really enjoying our baby and his healthy body and everything that goes with it for the first time.
He is like every other normal boy out there, and that's something that people look at him, and you tell the story, and they look at our son and they can't believe who he was.
This is what it looks like. And you see these little stuff going up, that's the zone. That's the zone. And this line is the cut. Right here. And he had to cut it open and take that liver out and quickly take the other one, put it back in, and then sew it back. And then I was normal. Everything was done.
So as much as Jax is a success story, there are still bumps in the road for him. About 2 years ago, he went through a rejection. And you know, if it weren't for the medicines today, that rejection could have led to failure of the liver, and we would have been back on that list. It's so important, the balance, the fine balance, the doctors, all the care that Jax is given. You know, we're just but one story. There are 30 million people out there with liver disease today that need the help, the funding, the research, all of the things that an organization like the American Liver Foundation lends to hospitals like Mount Sinai, to doctors like Dr. Yummie, to families like ours. So it's our turn to give thanks to all of those who have helped us, the American Liver Foundation, the doctors and nurses, to save the life of my child and save the life of so many out there with liver disease. So again, it's our turn to say thank you.
Thank you.